And you compare it to what's happening in China, you could see why a lot of the top controllers, why a lot of the big politicians want a society like China, because it's easier to manage, because there's less freedoms, there's less people being able to defend themselves. This is the larger battle that I think is unfolding right now, with a lot of people working and progressing towards creating a Chinese-style society here in the United States, and I think this is the bigger fight.
See themselves as kings and queens. The leaders of the West used to look at themselves as the knights who would guard the freedoms of the West. Now they look at the freedoms of the West and they're disgusted by it. You can say whatever you want? What? That's ridiculous, peasant. You can own a gun? Oh, that's horrible.
Now it's the parasitic manipulators who are leeching off the system. What's the saying? The penalty for not being involved in politics is that your lessers will rule over you. You have these powerful intelligence individuals, you have these manipulators, and they seize control through surreptitious means. I mean, like manipulating the public and wealth and things like that. Have kids. Those kids inherit this, but have no idea how they got there, who have grandkids who have no idea how to manage the system, and that all starts falling apart as well.
Mao was maybe the worst human being to ever walk the planet, obviously, but Mao was also tough as nails. Mao came up as a guerrilla fighter who actually trained some of our Marines that actually fought in World War II.
For like me and my friends, we're being called conservative now because we're just liberals who believe in hard work. The worst thing ever happened to me wasn't someone insulting me. It was that time I got shot at in Chicago. You know what I mean? Like, you have the really, really soft millennials who feel physical pain when someone says a naughty word. And that becomes the new separation between left and right, or a large component of it.
I think you nailed it. They're moving so far to the left. They are pushing people to the right.
I want to give a shout out to our good friend over from Eve6, because he had one of the best tweets I've ever read. Elon Musk said, "You know Twitter is being fair when extremists on the far right and far left are simultaneously upset. Twitter aims to serve center 80% of people who wish to learn, laugh, and engage in reasoned debate." Shout out to our good friend Max over at Eve6, who tweeted, "People on the right are holding you to your free speech absolutist position, which has obviously turned out to be fake. And people on the left are mad at you because you're a union-busting billionaire centrist, which is the most annoying kind of right-winger." That right there is exemplifying everything the enlightened centrist people have been saying. It's like, dude, most of the people who are like center left or whatever have said this. Yeah, there's some views I have that are probably a little left leaning and some that are a little right leaning. And then the left immediately says, right wingers.
Well, it's because they don't, like, when we think about the political spectrum, we often think about this line, you know, if you believe this, you're more to the left, or you drift more this way or right. And they don't look at it that way because this is not political for them. This is religious for them. That's why they're so strict with their people, because it's not a political ideology. They worship it. It very much is a political, a religion for these people. Communism is not some workers thing. Communism in the Soviet Union looked drastically different than it did in China. Why? Because you had different malcontents. They focused on the feminists. That's why they focused on the climate change netters, the LGBTQ Air Force guys. That's why they got infiltrated the civil rights